Voting is underway in Japan's snap election. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is looking to renew his mandate for dealing with what he says is an increasing nuclear threat from North Korea. Millions of people braved typhoon conditions to vote in a general election likely to return Abe to power. He called the election only last month. He's aiming to consolidate support for an economic revival and a hard-line strategy for North Korea. Let's speak to Joel Labi, who's in Tokyo for us. Joel, I say that the Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, says that there's an increasing threat from North Korea. His opponents say that he's playing that up a bit too much, that really it's not Japan that North Korea will be targeting, but rather South Korea.
Yeah, but you can understand why he would be saying that, though, because this plays to his voter base. And really, you've got to look at the reason that he called this election. Part of the reason being that the opposition is in absolute disarray, having split in two only a couple of weeks ago. And we've had numerous threats from North Korea, missile tests, nuclear tests, and voters do seem to be warming to the Prime Minister's hardline stance on that. This is one of the few issues that has been discussed during 12-odd days of campaigning here. So with otherwise relative unpopularity, Prime Minister Abe needs to play this up. And if anything, this will be one of the reasons that he's expected to win in such an overwhelming majority today.
So if they believe him on the threat from North Korea, do they believe him on the economic figures? 6 quarters of consecutive growth, and yet again his opponents say that that's well and good, but that money hasn't trickled down to the real consumer.
You speak to some of the voters here. We've spoken with some young, some old, and I think most agreed that Abenomics is starting to bear fruit now. Japan's unemployment is at some of the lowest it's been in many, many years. Business sentiment is high as well. So I think overall people are starting to realise that the government's policy is paying off. That said, a poll I want to direct your attention to the other day, that most businesses, 66% of businesses across Japan, do want to see Shinzo Abe re-elected, but have him lose seats in this election so that he doesn't lose focus on the economy and only focus on changing a pacifist constitution. So some mixed results there. While economic figures may reflect that Abenomics as well is working, businesses still want to see more.
Joel, just finally, do you think that if he does win, as predicted, we will see during this next term a standing Japanese army? Could it happen that quickly? Can he change the constitution?
Well, this will all come down to how much he wins by today, assuming that he does actually win. Prime Minister Abe needs a supermajority to essentially get a rails run through the lower house of Parliament. That calculates to about 310 seats of the 465 in the lower house, so 2/3 majority. If he gets that, then you can guarantee that he will push ahead with this pacifist constitution change. The hope on the LDP's end is that this is ready in time for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So by the time we get to that stage, we may very well see some serious upping the ante of Japan's military, and opponents may not like it, but essentially voters are giving Abe the mandate to do it.
Very interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Joel. You'll be watching that for us all day, obviously. Joel Labi in Tokyo.